Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Taking another look here at BONK, double checking a few key factors. We want to make sure to update our fibs here and just quickly clarify this descending trend here too, because you don't want to just jump in too early. But once we get down to that 0.786 fib level, a lot of unique things can happen. It can invalidate any potential long, but also in this case, a lot of times can work as a bouncing point. But let's double check some backend data first before we go there and just kind of see where we're at. And if you're new to the channel, welcome on board. Hope you can learn something today. I've got a trading academy, community, and signals group. If you're curious, CryptoCache.tech is a site linked down below. And then, of course, consider jumping on over to our Twitter, Telegram, Discord, YouTube, TikTok. Pretty much everything is available there for you. Again, down below, of course, if you're curious. I like to present that because most people are surprised and to find out that I have other social medias, which is great. So let's go ahead and look at this here. Look back 7 days here for BONK. We got a lot of liquidation at about this 1.9 mark. Okay. Keep in mind this is a different chart than what we might see on the charts here, because again, when I look at this, the numbers are off a little bit. So keep that in mind. This this liquidation chart is basically taking over a few, basically 1,000, 1/1000th over. Okay. So again, anyways, what I'm getting at is 1.9 is equivalent to like 1,900 or 190,000. All right. What I want to talk about here though is that there's a lot of liquidation there over the last month. It would make sense for that level to get swept before the price comes back and returns. The reason why that's important to note is because liquidation is a very strong and normal motivator for anyone with a lot of money. They're going to push the price action to that level, destroy a bunch of accounts, and then continue to just turn around and sell. Okay? So in the last month, more specifically last 2 weeks, we've seen a lot of liquidation accumulate in that one range, basically just implying that they are going to have a target on their back. So again, it's basically this here. This is bad news, okay? So wouldn't be surprised if we see one last sweep down there. Anyways, having said all that, kind of giving you that foundation of the back end data, let's look at some liquidation, outside of liquidation, let's look at some important factors here. We got the 200-day SMA obviously getting tested right now. Not really a good look here for the most part. Generally speaking, when you're at the 200, it's make or break. If the price closes below that, it can oftentimes continue to run. So my speculation here is that we might just see one last little kick down, and then the price recovers from there. We want to pay attention to descending trends too. We're not there yet, but at this point here, we're mostly bearish. There's no other way around it. I mean, obviously, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out the price is obviously very bearish, right? We're getting close to our support range here at about 30. Commonly, you see bouncing points right there at about 30. So in general, the daily time frame is very bearish, but we could see a slight relief rally here in the relative near future. Keep in mind, we keep seeing these lower liquidity sweeps, so the price continues to sweep lower and lower. So that's not a good sign at all. Okay. We also want to draw out a trend line from the most recent high to the most recent low, essentially seeing it retest this area with consistent lower lows. I almost said lower lows and lower highs. Lower lows and lower highs, and we can see the 50 on the RSI, or sorry, the simple moving average is essentially running concurrent with that. So that's generally unfavorable to be below that. We want to be above that at the very least. So me personally, I look for two things for invalidation or validation, right? In this case, invalidating a short would effectively come in two ways: getting above the 50-day 50 on the RSI and above 50 on the simple moving average on the charts. So those are two things that are generally very consistent. At this point here, we got an MACD FU there. So that's a good sign, implying that we're getting to see that momentum and stochastic swinging up. A lot of alts are starting to bottom out right now, but there's truth here in the sense that you could see one more sweep down before the price comes up. Again, just with that heavy concentration of liquidation here, that's a pretty significant number there, okay? So just keep that in mind, all right? Not perfect, but we're getting there. We want to be over the 50 personally, though. So to me, just kind of looking at this, randomly throwing an X on the chart, that's roughly what I'd be looking for confirmation to ensure that we're in better shape. And again, you got to recognize that's probably that's going to happen in a couple of days from now. Getting in right now at the ground floor, which may not even be the ground floor, is probably a bad idea. Okay, we just want to wait for confirmation in a lot of cases, and we don't have any confirming factors here. Everything's telling us we're still very bearish. We do look at the TPO. Let's double check this here. This is an important thing, the reference. Right now, the price action is just above the most recent point of control. So last 24-hour period, the bulls have controlled this time frame. We've seen this in a lot of charts right now. That's a good sign. That implies the bottom is getting closer. Okay. And it also implies if we take a long right now, you might find some profit as long as you hold true to a tight target range. Try not to get crazy and take profits way, way high. You want to consider taking profits closer to where you get in, because honestly, there's we're just not in a market to just let things run. Not right now, unless you're running to the downside, and that's even still very risky. Too much chop, honestly. So it's a day trader's paradise, but swing trader's nightmare, and you have to adjust and calibrate if you are swing trading right now, which we have, by the way. We've adjusted our targets, we've adjusted our entry levels. We've done a lot of things here to improve the signals, and at this point, we're probably I'm leaning more towards taking longs this weekend based on the simple fact that we have a lot of bottoming out for most coins. This isn't exactly one of those. This one still has a lot of liquidation left to go, but for the most part, majority of altcoins are doing fairly well. Even though you see some red here, they're starting to make parallel lows instead of lower lows and lower highs, and that's a good sign. BONK isn't one of those yet, but I think we're getting there. Again, we're looking for a candlestick closure above this line here. And again, that number, just to kind of throw it out there, is roughly 2.25. Okay, 2.25 is that area we're looking for. So again, there's an obvious resistance level here. We want to kind of pay attention to that. So either way, I'll post this playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord so you're familiar with it. Or if you aren't familiar, that's what I do. And we'll go ahead and take it from there. I hope you have a great rest of the day, though. Deeply appreciate you watching. And obviously, if you haven't already, check out BitUnix, folks. Awesome exchange. Link down below for some significant rewards. No KYC or VPN required for these guys. You have to take advantage of this before the month is over. If you're curious about that or you want to, honestly, free money is not a problem. But again, Twitter, Telegram, Discord, YouTube, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts too. All right, folks. Have a good rest of the day. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Thanks again.